So I was like, let's just go down to the big city because we're
Palm Springs.
Because we're country bumpkins and live in the middle of nowhere. To the nice movie theater and do a double feature, grab lunch in between, and get our Disney on since we're not able to go to the parks today.
Yeah.
So we'll just kind of check in here and there, before the movies start, between the movies, give our reactions, and just have a fun day. Alright, so we missed about half the previews because we were in a little late, but we just finished watching Aladdin.
Okay, we saw the movie.
Yeah, what'd you think?
I thought it was much better than I thought it was going to be. I was kind of... I wasn't like one of the people who were like down on the movie before it came out, like it's going to be terrible, but it would still beat my expectations, and that's a good thing. There were a few moments that were kind of rough, and I was like, ooh, that's kind of cheesy or terrible, but overall, I really enjoyed it. Actually, Will Smith ended up being way, way better than I thought he was going to be.
Yeah, I agree. When they first came out with the Will Smith Genie and the first trailer, I was a little scared. I was worried that he was going to just ruin the movie for me, and he did a really good job. And I think basically everybody else I've seen has said the same thing.
Yeah, it ended up being really good.
Yeah. But we walked over across from the theater because we have a couple hours to burn. We're going to eat lunch at the Cheesecake Factory, and so we're going to grab some lunch and then head back over for our part 2 and
Toy Story.
Toy Story 4.
Yep.
Alright, so we'll see you in a bit.
Bye.
The unofficial sponsor of
Alright,
the
so
show.
we are in the theater for movie number 2. We've got popcorn.
It's premiere
We got our drinks.
Yep.
I've got my blanket on.
Yes.
Yeah, good. Yes. I'm one of those people.
I'm
Bring my blanket to the movie.
I'm sweating and she's under a blanket.
It's warm, but it's comfortable.
It's all clear.
Alright, and I think this, I think I heard somebody say this showing sold out, so it's gonna be all crowded in here.
It's even hotter.
We'll see how it goes. Oh, I do have tissues in my
I was
purse
just ready to get your
too.
tissues ready.
I do need to get the tissues out of the purse.
Yeah, you're gonna cry.
For a limited time, all
Yep.
movie fans qualify for an additional
Check my
$1,000
get
bonus
up the
cash on
movie.
top of all other.
Alright, so we're back in the car. Just got done with Toy Story 4. I did pull out the tissue. I did use it.
I don't think you did as much as you thought you were going to, though.
No.
I don't think you hard cried like you have in the past.
No, I definitely did not ugly cry like I did at like Avengers or anything like that.
Right. Or previous Pixar movies.
Or yeah, even probably Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
I think I've cried more during Toy Story 3. But I mean, it was good.
It was good. I would say that I kind of saw the ending coming. I think it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a good ending to the series. I really hope they don't make any more.
I agree.
I wouldn't say it was my favorite Toy Story movie. I'd still put the first one as my favorite Toy Story movie. And I still think Toy Story 3 was probably better than this one. But I still really liked it.
I agree. It gave nice closure. Although I thought Toy Story 3 gave us closure
It did. I thought it did.
with Andy giving everything to Bonnie. But again, Disney's got to make some money.
Yeah. I kind of feel like if the Toy Story series was a novel, this is like the addendum. Like this is like, the appendices after the book, Like, oh, by the way, this happened too. Whereas, the whole 1 through 3 was the main chapter, and
But it definitely should not lead to another trilogy.
I really hope not. Or even a prequel. Like, just, all right, we're done. We're done, Disney.
You have exhausted all of my emotions related to those toys.
Yeah. I love Duke Kaboom, though. Duke Kaboom's great. I love Keanu Reeves. It's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was kind of slow in the middle. Like, I think you even fell asleep in the middle of the movie at some point. It got really slow in the middle, but
I tried real hard not to, but I did.
It did get kind of slow in the middle, but I mean, overall, still I enjoyed it. It was good. weren't trying to do a shot-for-shot remake of the animated movie. So they try to make some subtle changes to make it its own thing, and I really appreciate that. Some of them, though, didn't need to be made because it wasn't a big deal in the first place, and these new changes made it worse.
Case in point would be how they get out of the Cave of Wonders. In the original, Aladdin kind of cons the genie into getting them out of the cave by telling him, oh, you can't do it. I don't think you can do it. Whereas this, one of the rules for wishes is you have to be rubbing the lamp, and so Aladdin makes the wish without rubbing the lamp, and then calls that back into play later.
Which is weird because you would think the genie would be able to know that or tell that, like through the magic, because the way it's explained, But yeah, that was a rough spot for me. I was like, why? Why not just do the, even if you did a shot for shot, like line for line remake right there, I wouldn't have complained. I'm like, yeah, okay. But the change there was silly.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
Did you have another one?
I also didn't like not so much the change here, but the scene at the end of the Cave of Wonder scene when Jafar realizes that he doesn't have the lamp, that Abu stole it. That one was really weird because he just kind of looks, realizes he doesn't have it, and just screams. And it was not a believable or plausible one. And it's really like you could have done a few more takes on that one, guys, because that one was kind of rough.
Yeah, that one didn't bother me as much. I didn't notice it, but after he pointed it out, I was like, oh, maybe, but I could live with it.
But there are some great changes too, like the fact that how there's no like scene at the beginning with Jasmine and her father. It's like the movie kind of almost opens to she's already exploring the market and they run into each other, and then it's actually her or him trying to like save her and rescue her from the guards is when the One Jump song takes place. I thought that was kind of cool. I enjoyed that. Which, by the way,
of him doing it previously on his own,
and I liked the music. I thought the music was really good in the movie. Again, surprising with the genie. I really didn't think I was going to like Will Smith as a genie, especially with the Friend Like Me song. I thought he was going to just kind of Will Smith it too much, and he didn't. And they actually make a little joke about it because they actually start him singing the song at like play, but it's really terrible. And you can see like his heart wasn't in it, but then you see that's because that's the way it was in the movie. And then all of a sudden he's like, okay, fine, and does the big like showstop number, and it was really funny, and that was cool.
I really liked the new song, Speechless. I thought it's how do I put this? I like the lyrics. I like how it fit in the movie. I like the change in the storyline of making Jasmine kind of more empowered, and that she's going to, try to do stuff on her own without just waiting for a man to save her. A little bit more so than she did in the animated.
Yeah, which is actually interesting because one of the first I noticed about the end of the One Jump song was the scene where they're trying to jump roofs and they have to take the poles, to jump across the roof. That's in the animated version, and that's actually one of the first times you really see that Jasmine is independent and she doesn't need a man in the animated movie because she jumps it without Aladdin's help. She like jumps straight over him.
Yeah, Aladdin goes to put the pole or the board out to her, and she just jumps right with him.
Whereas in this movie, she actually needs help and is afraid, and it's not until he actually kind of helps her and talks her through it that she actually makes the jump. I thought that was odd, and then later in the movie, they show her to be this big, like strong, I don't need to be rescued type princess.
But that could have been her, her character development, her growing too.
Sure, I guess. But going back to the song,
you didn't like it.
I did. So it's not that I don't like the song. I thought on its own the song was great. It sounded good. The lyrics were cool. It was the fact that it didn't seem to fit with anything else in the movie to me, because all the other songs were plays on the originals. This one felt different because it is a new modern song. It felt newer, it felt more modern, and to me it didn't feel like it had a place in there. It just felt different, too different for me.
Oh, sorry, that one hand's getting tired.
But I mean, that was it. It's not like I didn't like it. It's not that I don't think Jasmine deserved to have her own song and her own moment. It was just that. It was like, this seems off speaking of, I had to laugh at the very end of the credits. There is an original, like, Will Smith, made, like,
With
semi-rap song.
Oh, who was it with?
I don't know who he made it with, but I was
DJ Khaled.
DJ Khaled, okay. Yeah, I was like, if Will Smith's in the movie, he's got to make a song about it for the credit scene, like kind of like Men in Black. And sure enough, there was one, and I laughed. I was like, okay, they did it. That's funny.
So I think that's all of our details on Aladdin, right?
Yeah. Just so people know, the CGI genie is actually fine. I know we all harped on it during the trailer. It was fine for the movie. It looked great. And again, like, my only concern I ever had going into that movie was Will Smith. I thought everything else looked good, but he ended up surprising me. He did a great job. Overall, I really enjoyed the movie. The set design was amazing. The costumes was amazing. The music was amazing. I really enjoyed it. Not the best, I would say, of the live action ones so far, but I'd say it's actually pretty far up there, though. I really liked it.
All right, so moving on to Toy Story 4.
Toy Story 4.
So, like we said earlier in our quick recap, obviously not our favorite Toy Story movie. It was a good wrap-up, secondary wrap-up to the series. They could have left it alone at Toy Story 3, but okay, I get it. Disney got to make money. Forky.
I did not attach to Forky as well as I think I was supposed to. I liked him. I thought he was a very humorous character, especially in the beginning, before he comes to his realization of being a toy, when he's still I'm garbage, I'm trash, I'm meant to be thrown out. It was funny, and I kind of enjoyed that part, but once he became a more serious character, I just did not attach to him as well. I liked him, but it wasn't like the way I felt about Buzz or Jessie or any of the other ones.
And I think it's funny, because in the trailer, because the trailers were so big, especially the first couple ones, we're like, oh my god, Pixar's going to make us cry over a spork. Forky was not that emotional character for either of us.
I don't think he had an emotional story at all,
No. He was funny, he was cute, he was actually kind of annoying at times. For me at least.
He's actually a very important character in the movie, but you don't get really a truly emotional scene with him at all that makes you want to go, okay, I'm going to cry over the spork now.
Yeah. Woody's story.
I like what they did with it. I know a lot of people are going to hate it. And I've seen a few people say on Twitter that they liked the movie, but they hated the ending. So the big spoiler here is that Woody leaves the group. He leaves Bonnie, and he joins Bo Peep as a lost toy who helps other toys find kids. He doesn't need a kid anymore. His purpose now is making sure other toys find kids.
Yeah. So
I like it. I'm good with it.
I do too, and that's the part that made me cry. But because in the beginning I was having a little bit of heartburn with Woody with trying to force the connection that he had with Andy with Bonnie.
Yeah.
He wasn't that number one toy, and you could tell it kind of bothered him some, but not to the extent of what it did back in Toy Story 1 where Buzz took over.
Right.
But he kept trying to, tell the other toys, well, you weren't around when Andy was this little. You don't understand. And to a point, that's true. But I do think him going with Bo Peep to help other lost toys find a child or have playtime with the child is very fitting.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of his role through the whole movie. It was getting Forky and making sure Forky was around because Bonnie needed Forky at that point in time in her life. So I fully accept that.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I was perfectly fine and happy with the ending to Toy Story 3. I actually kind of like this ending too because it's a bit more adult,
It's more final.
It is. It's more finalized, and I truly believe this movie was meant more for the adults who have grown up with Toy Story than the kids. Obviously, kids are going to love it, especially with Forky. But I really truly think this is more an
This was
adult
for
movie.
us.
Yeah.
This is
truly
for us.
was. And it's really about a movie about finding your purpose, or finding new purpose once your old one is, is gone. And it's a very mature theme. And
Yeah.
it's, like I said, I really liked it. I don't hate on it at all. I really, really enjoyed it.
All right, I'm gonna take it a little lighthearted here for a second.
Okay.
The ventriloquist dummies. Those things were terrifying as F. Okay? I mean, they were legit jump scares.
Mm-hmm.
Where it wasn't just me being dramatic. Like, there were adult men sitting next to me jumping and saying the same things.
Yeah.
I'm going to have nightmares about those ventriloquist dummies. They got me. They did their job. They were terrifying. And that's why you kind of knew from moment one that Gabby was going to be the villain.
Yeah, I'd say pseudo-villain, because she's really not even all that villainous.
No. I mean, and she has character development, turns around.
Yeah.
But from the moment you see the dummy pushing her in the stroller, you know she's not all on the up and up. Because he is terrifying. And then there's 3 more?
Right. You kind of got with her in the carriage, you kind of got those Lotso vibes with him in the back of the dump truck, the Tonka truck.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, I'm feeling that, okay.
But, she kind of, when she, what was her name? The little girl, the granddaughter?
Oh, I
Whatever, I am. Yeah. Obviously not that important to us. But the shop owner's granddaughter who Gabby was holding out for when she was like, no, I don't want her.
Yeah.
And you could see her basically emotional break. It made you feel for her.
Yeah, that was something.
And then, the fact that Woody went back to get her. Was like, no, come on, you're going to come with us. You're going to go see Bonnie. And when she found the little girl that was lost in the fair.
Mm-hmm. I knew as that moment that freaking Woody decided to help her, and then you see Gabby, look at that lost girl at the fair. That was the moment I knew how this movie was going to end. And I was like, okay, Pixar.
Yeah. So like we said, there's some slow parts in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
but overall, very, very much the movie that was meant for us, the adults who grew up with Toy Story, not the new generation, although as Don said, they will enjoy it.
Yeah.
But this was the movie for us to fully give us closure.
And I don't want people to think we didn't like it because we didn't say it's our favorite or because we rank it below Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 3. It's not that we didn't like it. They're all amazing movies. It's just this one didn't have the same just emotional punch and kick to my face that the other ones had.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, it's good.
There's no trash incinerator scene that
Right.
just rips your heart out. Which is, it's probably a good thing. Pixar doesn't need to continuously gut punch us with the feels every movie. Like, some movies just need to be enjoyable with some minimal conflict, but some, humor and, things resolve and everybody lives happily ever after. But that's just my opinion. Mainly because I am that ugly crier in the movie theaters that I'm going to embarrass people around me when it starts to happen. Avengers Endgame being the worst I've ever, the worst in recent memory.
Right.
But I think that's going to do it for us. If you like our movie review wrap up, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to, the notification bell as well, so you know every time we post a new video and you're kept up to date with us. And you can
Subscribe to us on Twitter at LLanyApps.
All right, until next time.
Bye.
Bye.